Magic moment today? I've got to say, for me, it was listening to those skylarks over.
Yeah.
That beautiful blue sky, the beautiful blue sea, very vivid colours, the young corn, so it was all really fresh.
But this is it though,
and the dismantled.
How gorgeous it is here, how beautiful Normandy is, and then having to imagine into it the horror of the fighting and the conflict here. That's actually, I think it actually requires quite an imaginative leap, and so you can see why a thing like the battery at Longues-Sur-Mer, the gun emplacements at Longues-Sur-Mer, say to people, this is why they're representative to people, because the imaginative leap of tens of thousands of troops landing, of the Allied gunnery, for instance, the sheer, you can't imagine it. Picturing the sea black with ships is really hard.
Yeah.
Whereas looking at 4 concrete megastructures, makes that imaginative effort. This is an interesting question, isn't it? Though, history demands so much of our imagination, which is why.
It's a constant quest, isn't it? And to try and get closer.
Yes.
To get closer to what happened.
Yeah.
And to what it was really like, and to be able to put yourself in the boots of those who were there, who were coming ashore. And sometimes it feels really close, and sometimes it doesn't. And weirdly, I kind of always think this with Omaha Beach. It's so huge, it's so massive.
Yeah.
And it's so completely not warlike anymore. It's just like a beautiful beach.
It's the most beautiful
It's actually quite hard at Omaha Beach, I think.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, the other thing I thought was really interesting about Longues-Sur-Mer, and I just never thought about this before until today, and this is why walking the ground is so important, because every time I go to, I've been to Longues-Sur-Mer, I reckon, a dozen times.
Yeah.
I had a thought today, which I've never had a thought before, which was prompted by you, which is this whole point that, actually, 4 guns is a bit rubbish, really.
4 guns
is nothing.
HMS
HMS Ajax, which is firing at it, has got more guns than they have.
Yeah.
And it's a ship, and it's rocking around the sea and all the rest of it. But actually, the impression you get when you get to Longues-Sur-Mer is, the formidable German
Nazi war machine.
the Nazi war machine, this huge great thing of concrete. But all of those 4 great things of concrete are protecting just one 152mm gun each.
Yeah.
And they're big, but they're not that big. They can only shell 10 or 12 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're completely ineffective. The whole thing is completely ineffective.
There's diminishing returns in that defence too, because you've painted you've certainly announced your intentions in terms of. It's Maginot Line stuff.
But you think about Omaha Beach again, and you think, okay, on the top of Longues-Sur-Mer, there's 4 guns.
Yeah.
Okay. At Omaha Beach, there's 183 off the coast on the sea, which are 90mm and above.
Yeah.
Well, that's a heck of a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's firepower.
Yeah. Well, and in the end, it's all about firepower, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ultimately
it's about legit. Well, of course, it's all about the men who are doing it.
Yeah.
But really, it's about who's got the most, who's got the biggest, who's got the bestest.
Well,
who can resupply the most.
Well, who knows how to apply it best?
Who knows how to apply it best, yeah.
Yeah. Because, it's interesting as well. The contrast actually, and the gun line at Brecourt Manor, that, like we were saying when we were there, it's much more sensible. You can move those guns.
Yeah.
You camouflage them. You bug out. Yeah. You take them somewhere else more convenient. The enemy has to then find them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've built 4 great big concrete emplacements, you're saying,
but the other thing is
announcing your intentions as much as anything else.
Yeah. But the other thing is, you go from that enormous scale of Omaha Beach, and as you say, it's kind of, in many ways, like 2 invasions, because it's 2 divisions, and it's over
2 divisions,
that 5-mile stretch.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were driving, and I was going, we still haven't got to the end here.
Yeah.
We're on the road, the back road, but we still haven't got to the end. We haven't got to Verville yet.
Yeah.
So you get all that huge scale, and then you go to Brecourt Manor, and it's tiny. And you kind of, there's things about history and things about studying and things about walking the ground where you just think, it just doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah.
So if all those 101st Airborne guys are in that little farmhouse on the road, how come the Germans haven't noticed that?
It's
there. It's that farm building there.
Yeah.
That's it. So they're in there and they suddenly get a message going, you know, you got to take out these 4 guns.
The other side of the road.
And they can hear them going boom. But they're literally behind that tree line in front of us.
Well,
I mean, it's literally 300 yards away.
That's a very good question. I mean, if they're firing their guns, they're concentrating on that, right? And so they're you know,
so.
well, no, because you're wrapped in your wrapped in your little world of noise, and fire orders, and try not to get that wrong. And they're not infantrymen.
No, I
so maybe that's it. But then, I mean, you nearly led us into a thought there, which is winter starts with 14 guys, right?
Yeah, goes back and gets some more.
No. Let's not go back and get anyone else yet. Okay. Let's now put them into ABCD, and we know that they're paratroopers. So
what, as in classification?
Yeah. So those 14 guys,
they're all probably...
There's maybe 1 BAR with them.
Yeah,
right.
They're all kind of Bs, aren't they?
So they're probably all Bs, and maybe, but you even
Bs being the people who don't necessarily want to be. They're almost half A's, aren't they?
Yes, but I think you even because and hopefully we're gonna go and find the Summers place. The thing that's
okay, so this is Sergeant Harrison Summers,
which is
who does this legendary action, which, frankly, if we're brutally honest about it, is more impressive than Brecourt Manor.
It's absolutely mind-boggling, but also kind of slaughterous as well. He kills so many people.
He's like 250 Germans,
something like, but maybe a couple of hundred Germans at the end of it, something like that. Yeah. And he's absurdly brave, and he figures the thing to do is to go and kick the door in and start the action. There's just no point giving anyone any orders because he doesn't know any of them and he thinks they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then halfway through it all, someone says, you all right? He goes, no, not really, but no one else seems to want to fight. And the thing is, I think, and this is a thing that happens in other airborne operations, is the business of being plonked in the battlefield with no run-up, you know, and as we, you know, 82nd are experienced up to a point. Some of them...
A lot of them are very experienced.
Yeah, but not all of them, right? Because the complete division doesn't land assisted, does it? It's like elements of it, right? So you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, and also they've got replacements.
Well, they've got replacements and everything, but 101st is brand spanking new. So, yes, later in the week, once people have got their heads around what's going on, but that opening night, that opening morning, it's only your A's and... The B's you can assemble who are going to be able to bring a decision. And 14 guys it's not a platoon, it's an expanded rifle squad, as the Americans would call it. So maybe it isn't surprising it takes them a long time. And they're having to corral people, they're having to motivate people. You've also got this, you know, at Omaha, one of the things is that they're in assault squads, aren't they? They're not with their sergeants, they're not with their regular people. Mm-hmm. Which can create dislocation and confusion, right? And so what the airborne people are having to deal with in spades, and I think it's worse for the 101st, this aspect of it, than it is for 6th Airborne, who although they're in a muddle, things are a bit more cohesive and you know.
I think, you know, from a point of view of orientating yourself in the middle of the night, it was absolutely clear, having gone to 6th Airborne, the British airborne landing, and now the American 101st
in the
landing.
Kotzebue Peninsula. It's a completely
There's
different
no
ballgame.
Question that the British have got the easier job in terms of organising themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you know, if their equivalent of the causeways is Pegasus Bridge, Horsa Bridge, that goes completely according to plan. Whereas there's the 101st end of things, they're having to actually work it out then and there,
and
improvise.
Then 4th Infantry Division don't land where they're supposed to.
Yeah, you know, and more knock-on. And that, although they are relieved, they're relieved within the same kind of time span as 6th Airborne on the other end. It is just that much more confused and confusing.
Yeah. I suppose the other takeaway from the last couple of days is just that, particularly today,
14 guys. You split. So he's doing two moves around that field. Yeah. 14 guys. So that's seven on one side.
I think they sent a couple round.
No, but you know what I mean. It turns into next to no one quite quickly. So no wonder it takes all day.
Maybe. He does go back and get some more men later.
But you know what I mean.
I do know what I mean.
I can see it, and you're feeling your way, and you haven't landed according to plan. You haven't landed cohesively, and that just means you've got to get over that hurdle, right? Anyway, what was your other thought?
Well, my other thought is just, you know, we've grown up on pictures of the observation bunker at Longues-Sur-Mer, the kind of the slip that looks like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you know, we've grown up on that, and those automaton helmets and silhouetted against the sky.
Well, and the
with reels
implication,
of blah, blah.
well,
the implication is
they're ready.
They're ready. That it's they're square-jawed and jack-booted, and they're all kind of National Socialists, and you know, they're totally up for the fight, and also there is a sort of impregnability about the Atlantic Wall. And I think one of the things that's really struck home to me today, more than at any point, is just how it's not enough.
No, it's just not enough.
And I think it's that Damascene moment I had at Longues-Sur-Mer, prompted by you, when we suddenly wrote, it's 4 freaking guns.
It's not a battery, it's a troop.
It's a troop. It's nothing.
And what you need up there is a regiment.
But
right?
we've been corralled down a route that says this is formidable, this is German, this is Nazi megastructure, because you've got lots of concrete. But the concrete doesn't add up to a hill of beans in this crazy world. You know, it really, really doesn't. It's all about firepower.
Yeah. But by the same token, those villages that you have to come off the beaches through, with their high walls, their stone buildings, their winding roads,
and no one's made a plan.
But no one's using those as like insane
No, all they're doing is they're putting OPs up in the church spires, which are then being blown to pieces. I mean, it was interesting. If you look at all those churches that we passed, you know, from Colville to Verville to Saint Laurent,
they've all got new spires.
Every single one's got a new spire.
Yeah. But the thing is later in the Normandy campaign, the villages do become strong points and strongholds, and the Germans wise up to it. But it's too late. It's too late because there's an airfield being built on D+1.
Yes. And it was fascinating, wasn't it, seeing that we didn't really stop. We just went hurtled past it in the Cousin mobile.
Yeah. We're very much General Meyer Cousin, swanning off towards the Wolf-Hazer crossroads in Arnhem.
The Cousin car. But you could absolutely see where they could put a and they're able to do that because they've got the PSP, because they've got the graders, and they've already come ashore.
And
big thinking, the big war.
But that also suggests every confidence in the success of the invasion, right? What they've not got, Jim, is another infantry division bobbing around in boats just in case, right?
No, they haven't.
Because they know it's going to work.
They strongly suspect.
They're in confident expectation. It's not in confident expectation of a miracle. It's in confident expectation that this is going to work. It's belt and braces. There's redundancy. There's waste built in, but this is going to work.
Yeah.
Not just because it's too big to fail, but it is going to work. We can do this. We know how to do this now, and this is how we do it.
And that's why when you look at that and you look at the scale of it and you think about the size and you think about 4 guns on Longues-Sur-Mer against just 6 bigger guns from one warship. A light cruiser. It's a light cruiser. It's not a heavy cruiser. It's a light cruiser. It's not even a battleship. That's what you're up against. Anyway.
You take on the Allies. Prepare to lose.
Anyway, it's been a great day.
It's been a great day. Cheers.